For example, let's say you asked a kid in middle school, "Do you know what Schrodinger's cat is?" Most would say yes, or "I've heard of it." We'll start by eliminating the DQNs who say they've never heard of it. Next you ask, "Well, what was it?" Next we'll eliminate those poor fools who say, "It's something about a cat in a box, right?" Or, "There's this cat, but you don't know if it's alive or dead, right?" Or maybe they say, "There's a cat in a box, and next to it there's a device that may or may not give off poison gas. You don't know if the cat's alive or dead till you open the box." Everybody knows that. We can eliminate these show-offs as well. Anybody from these groups is a wrong-sider. The right answer would be to describe the experiment and then say, "It was a thought experiment proposed by Schrödinger to criticize the quantum mechanical theory that state collapse only occurs after human observation." But barely anyone can do that. And I'd imagine that I'm the only guy who's still in high school who knows that Schrödinger got the idea after exchanging letters from Einstein. I hate wrong-siders. I'd taken a break from investigating the 2 incidents that had occurred recently in Shibuya, and was paging through some @channel blog aggregators for a change of pace. As always, articles about bad idols and corporations with terrible work environments were getting tons of hits. It was hard to believe that the crash of 15, a huge news story that had just happened this month, was already off the front pages. Did the people reading and commentating on these sites realize that everything they read about corporations and idols was so carefully controlled? Did they know that most of the big aggregator sites are corporations too? Did they realize that the comments were all manipulated to go in one direction or the other? Kids our age were living in a world where all the information you could ever want was right at your fingertips. To those of us in the enlightened generation, ignorance was the worst sin. The ignorant were self-righteous, easily manipulated, and eager to push their paper-thin worldview onto others. They were nothing but a nuisance. The worst of the lot were the so-called otaku. I couldn't stand otaku. They were wrong-siders. Take the picture on the cover of this magazine. It was from Bloodtoon. Any otaku who just watched it for the cute characters was a loser. There was no point in watching the shows if you were going to ignore its deeper themes. I couldn't stand people who held to the old-fashioned idea that only otaku watched anime, but people who ignored a show's themes and just watched it for the cuteness were even worse. They were ignoring the implicit social criticisms hidden in...
Nani?
What? I stared at the magazine in amazement. Specifically, I stared at the box that listed the next episode previews. The text said that Aaron was missing.
Bakaka!
Idiots. Damn it! I'd let my guard down because I knew this episode was written by the guy who wrote the original manga. The original author doesn't know anything about his own work. How could you remove Eren from the story halfway through? Not keeping her around meant bringing all the internal drama that had been built up so far to a halt. God damn it. So much for my change of pace. I knew I had work to do on the case, but I'd put it away because I couldn't find any link between the 2 crimes. I thought for a moment, then took my magazine from its secret stash. It was an issue of an older magazine called Cool Cat Press. People called it a dating guide for normals written by someone who'd never dated a girl in his life, but you'd be surprised.
女性が必ず落ちる告白の言葉?
Magic words to make any girl fall in love with you? Stupid. I knew it was stupid. But when I ran an internet search for their number one phrase, nothing came back. And that was the thing. The fact that it didn't show up on the internet meant, to me, that it was worth something.
誠に勝手なのですが、好きになってもいいですか?
I know this is extraordinarily selfish of me, but may I fall in love with you?
何を?
With who? What are you doing? I turned to yell at the voice. Huh? Onoe, when did you get here? I hid my favorite magazine behind my back and tried to calm my racing heart. Even if we've just known each other since we were kids, don't just come in like that.
ノックしたよ。てか、何その雑誌？面白いの？
I did knock. So, what's that magazine? Anything interesting?
なんでもない。
It's nothing. I couldn't let her find out. This was bad.
どうしたんだよ。なんで制服着てるんだ。帰ったんじゃないのか。
What's going on? Why are you wearing your school uniform? Didn't you go home? Sekira frowned.
今日の部活で事件のこと調べてこいって言ったのタコじゃん。
You're the one who told me to go investigate the crime scenes for the club today. That's right.
はい、これ追加の現場周りの画像データ。
Here you go. More pictures from the crime scenes. Sekira took a USB memory stick out of her purse.
ありがとう。ついでに僕の PC に入れちゃってくれるか。
Thanks. Could you transfer it to my computer for me while you're at it? Sekira looked a little confused.
珍しいね。自分の PC 触らせるなんて。
That's rare. You never let anyone touch your computer.
別に、お前はいいよ。
Not really. You're allowed. She didn't seem to think much of it as she started to copy the data off. Okay, now's my chance. The RV was cramped, but there was a lot of space for storage. I pretended to make tea as I tried to find room on the top shelf. Okay, there's just enough room for one more magazine. And then I heard a shoo, shoo sound, like a small fart from behind me. I glanced back and saw that Sekira was using the mouse with one hand and fiddling with her Gero Froggy Geroro strap with the other. This was my chance. The Gero Froggy Geroro strap was a soft vinyl cell phone strap I'd won in a candy contest when I was a kid. When you pushed its belly, it was supposed to go, Gerororo, Gero. It turned out to be an incredibly rare prize that could fetch 100,000 yen at auction. But since I was a kid who didn't know any better, I gave it to Sekira as a present. Serika seemed to really like it, and ever since then she'd carried it with her. Which, well, that was fine, but it was old and faded, and when you pressed its belly, air leaked out of its side and made a weird noise. It used to go, Geroro, Gero, I think, but now it just made a strange whooshing sound. Ever since she was a kid, she'd had a habit of fiddling with it, especially when she was nervous or focused on something. In other words, She was focused on the computer. Now was my chance to hide it. I jammed the magazine onto the shelf and moved some things so she couldn't see it.
マウンテンビューでいいか
Want a mountain view?
いいよ、もったいないじゃん。それにすぐに帰るし。はい、終了。
Nah, don't waste it. I'm leaving in a second anyway. Okay, all done. There were quite a few files on the screen.
結構撮ったな成果は
You took a lot of pictures. Any luck?
新しい発見はなかったよ。タクは新しい共通点見つかった？
I didn't see anything new. What about you, Taku? You find anything that connects the two cases?
いや
No. I shook my head, frustrated.
そっか。まあ気長に行こう。じゃあ明日部室で。
Ah, I see. Well, let's not get too frustrated yet. I'll see you in club room tomorrow. Just as she was about to leave, I got an idea.
あ、尾上
Oh no! I needed to double check my information. She was, in theory, a girl.
あのさ例えばなんだけど
I'm just asking, but...
うん。
Huh?
あなんていうかお前が告白されたとしてさ
Well, let's just say someone asked you out.
うん？
Huh?
いやだから例えばこう言われたらどう誠に勝手なのですが好きになってもいいですかって
Just, hypothetically, okay? What would you think if they said, I know this is extraordinarily selfish of me, but may I fall in love with you?
さっき言ってたやつ？
Is that what you were just saying?
それはいいからどう
Never mind that. What do you think? Serika thought for a second.
年下なの？その人。
Is this person younger than me?
え？
丁寧語だから。
Since they're being so polite. That's true, come to think of it. Why was it so polite anyway?
年下なのかないやそうじゃなくてどう
Maybe they are. I mean, never mind that. What do you think?
どうって丁寧だなって思うけど。
Well, I think it's really polite, but
告白されたことないからよくわかんない。
nobody's ever asked me out, so I don't know.
他には何か思わないかこう素敵だなと思ったりしないか
Anything else? Like, oh, how romantic.
ん？別に相手によるんじゃない？
Not really. That would depend on the person, right? Gah, what's going on here, cool cat? It would depend on the person asking the question. Of course it would.
あ、そうだ、忘れてた。
Oh, right, I forgot. Sarika stretched out her hand.
500円ちょうだい。
Give me 500 yen.
これこれ、忘れてた。
Here, I forgot. She showed me the paper bag she was
さっき
holding.
そこでゲンさんに会ったの。タクにいつものだって言って渡してくれって。特価で500円でいいって立て替えたの。
I just ran into Jen. He gave me this. Said it was your usual. I paid him 500 yen for it.
いつもの
My usual? Confused, I took the bag from her. Gen's usual changed every time I talked to him, so I couldn't count on it. What was it today? That drunk old bastard.
何？いつものって。
What's your usual?
なんでもない。ほら、500円。
Nothing. Here, 500 yen. I forced 500 yen into her hands. Ignoring her persistent questions, I led her to the door.
明日、学校で。
I'll see you at school tomorrow.
データはありがとう。助かった。
Thanks for the pictures. They're a big help.
わかったよ。
Fine. Reluctantly, she left my room. You. Damn it. Sure, this is what I always bought from Gen. But the information in the last one was no good. What the heck was a cool cat anyway? A cold cat? Is it cold because it's dead? 100 ways to secretly show your sexy side. No, I needed to hide this too. But I had so many of them now. I was running out of room on the top shelf. When I tried to force it in, a mountain of old papers came falling out. Damn it. No room, huh? Huh? What's this? It was an old scrapbook about the murders that had occurred 6 years ago in Shibuya. I'd bought it from Gen too, come to think of it. I'd already scanned it, but had forgotten to throw out the original. How could I, of all people, be so lax with information? I'd just have to bundle it up with the rest of my collection. My eyes lingered for a second on the page. Come to think of it. I quickly ran over to my PC. I opened the files in the case that I'd been looking for.
マジか。
Seriously? My words were a whisper. I looked back at the scrapbook, then compared it to the data on the PC. There was no doubt. I kept looking at it, and it kept saying the same thing. But this, if my hypothesis was right,
警察も気がついてないぞ。
I'm sure even the police haven't noticed. Lately, stickers with the face of a sumo wrestler on them have been appearing around Shibuya. You started seeing them on signs and guardrails all over Shibuya 5 or 6 years ago. There are a lot of other stickers put up by graffiti artists, but Shibuya in particular has a huge number of these sumo stickers. Some have speculated that they're a message from a terrorist group, or perhaps a cult. But as of now, that's nothing more than a hypothesis. When asked about the stickers, a 41-year-old man who worked at Chinan Shibuya hair salon said, "They're creepy. I wish whoever it was would stop destroying the Shibuya landscape. Sometimes residents will take them down, only to see them reappear later." Shibuya City Hall says, quote, "We are continuing our community research efforts to help stop these stickers from being put up. Police have said that placing these stickers on public property is a misdemeanor and that it's extremely difficult to prosecute without catching someone in the act of doing so. They have no current plans for dealing with the stickers either. The citizens of Shibuya are going to be stuck with these stickers for a while, it seems." After I saw the first one 2 years ago, I've been seeing them everywhere. Feels like there are even more now, lately. Saw another one today. These two. What the fuck? There was another one under the escalator at Hirowari-wo. How the hell did they get one down there? Took this one a few years back. Wonder if it's still there. I saw that one too. It's crazy. Gotsuan dosu. I always feel sick when I see that face. I once threw up when I saw one of those stickers. Shit sucks. Whoever puts them up needs to FOAD. I heard if you scribble on top of one, the sumo wrestler curses you. Anyone else notice that it's impossible to get the damn things off? Saw my first one today. Stop upping these things, Anon. There's a shit ton of them if you image search. I actually saw one of those stickers talking once. It was yelling, "Dosukoi!" Time for your meds, Grandpa. Somebody make a Delui map that lists all their locations. You'll be at it for years. So if you go to Shibuya, you get stare-raped by sumo wrestlers, right? I don't understand the sluts that go to Shibuya to enjoy that. They should just put up a bunch of cute anime girl stickers instead, like Hanoa or Sereitan. Then all the otaku dorks would move to Akihabara to Shibuya. I vote for Hengetsu Kamiyama. I feel pressure coming from Ryogoku. This is my prophecy unto you. Someday we'll see a sumo judge sticker. True that.
この時はまだ力士シールはごく一部で話題になっているくらいのものでしかなかった。
At this point, only a few people were talking about the sumo wrestler
一体
stickers.
誰が予想できる？こんな気味の悪いシールが後に世界を揺るがす大事件のきっかけになるだなんてこと。
Who could have known that these eerie sticklers would mark the beginning of a world-changing event?
んで、これが今月の7日に起きた事件の週刊誌の特集の画像。
And so, this is a magazine article about the incident that occurred on the 7th.
7日ってニコニア生放送中の公開自殺か。読んだよ、その記事。
The 7th? The suicide that took place during a Nikonia stream, right? I read that article.
自殺と決まったわけじゃないけどな。それにネットではこっちみんなって言い方が主流になってきてる。で、これがその生放送の映像。
We don't know for sure that it was a suicide, though. People on the net are calling it "Don't Look at Me" case. And here's the video of the broadcast.
それも見た。つうか一緒に見ただろう。
I saw that too. Wait, we saw it together.
で、これがその現場の建物。尾上が昨日さらに追加してきた。
And here's the building it took place in. Onoe took some more photos for me
それ
yesterday.
も知ってるって。
I know that too.
で、これがその部屋の中。
And this is the inside of his room.
は？うっそ！お前撮ったの？いつ？てかどうやって？
No way, you took this? When? Wait, how? Until then, Ito had been disinterestedly pointing his camera at the colorful decorations in the hallway, but this got his attention. Of course it did. No one else had seen these
先週
pictures
末
yet.
な。現場向かいのカラオケボックスの5階の部屋から見えるんだよ。
Last weekend, you can see the room from the 5th floor of the karaoke place on the other side of the street.
マジで？
Seriously?
この5階から。
Here, this is the 5th floor. You could always count on him to be interested when it came to new information.
で、何？お前一人で入ったのか？
So what? You went in by yourself?
いやいや、カラオケボックスに。人から？
I mean, you went to the karaoke place by yourself? For karaoke alone?
仕方ないだろ。別に恥ずかしいことじゃない。それに歌ったわけじゃないから、正確には人からとは言わない。
I didn't have a choice, did I? And it's not embarrassing. And I didn't sing, so it wasn't really karaoke. To be honest, I was a little embarrassed. The guy at the counter, who was probably just a part-timer, had stared at me suspiciously. Maybe I'd attracted his attention by coming in during the middle of the day in my uniform. And since I'd never been there before, he made me fill out membership paperwork. I didn't know how to do it, so it took a long time. And actually, I'd never been to a karaoke place before in my life.
よし、ここは OK。次行こうぜ。
Alright, I got these. Let's go to the next one.
めんどくさいな。
This is such a pain. We went over to the gym from the second floor hallway. It was filled with students laughing over who knows what. The whole school was getting ready for the culture festival next week. This year's festival was supposed to be a big one. ChäoS Academy was the first private high school built as part of the restoration efforts, and so it was attracting a lot of attention. One reason why everyone was so excited for the school fair was the school's lax rules, with lots of clubs and activities. But the biggest reason was the Shibuya Peace and Restoration Festival was 2 months from now. 2 months from now, on November 9th, would mark 6 years since the Shibuya earthquake. The 5-year anniversary fair last year had affected the whole town, and since this school was in Shibuya too, it would include us. We were just a simple high school, but now our culture festival was being treated as the prelude to the big one, and supposedly there would be TV cameras filming the day of the event.
うわ、あのパチモンの着ぐるみ大丈夫かよ。つかなんで今着てんだ？
Wow, aren't those costumes copyrighted? Can they get away with that? And wait, why are they wearing them now? Ito turned his camera towards a group of people pretending to be pro wrestlers. Ito and I were in the newspaper club, and it was our job to record the festivities. The principal had ordered that all clubs were to participate in the culture festival, and recording the festivities was our way of getting by without having to do much work. Recording video and taking photos was my hobby, and, more than anything, it seemed like the way that would demand I burn the fewest calories. I couldn't see myself participating in any of the usual festival nonsense, like the baseball team's fried baseball ice cream stand, which was probably just regular fried ice cream in a ball, or the pro wrestling research club's mascot pro wrestling, or even the seance that the mystery club and fortune-telling club were putting on together.
暇なんだろ。
They probably just don't have anything better to do.
ひげを引っ張んなってもげる。
Hey, don't pull my whiskers, you'll rip them off.
これ触覚じゃないの？
Huh? Aren't these a tenne?
どう思うよ。触覚だとしたらもいだ方がゆるキャラっぽくないか？
What do you think? If they were antennae, wouldn't you look cuter if you ripped them off?
何？私、そのくだらない質問に答えなきゃダメ？
Huh? What? Do I really have to answer such a stupid question?
くそ、リア充。ただれろ。死んでしまえ。
God damn normals. Go die in a fire.
おい、リア充をバカにするなよ。僕だってリア充だ。
Hey, don't make fun of normals. I'm a normal.
あ、バカ、カメラ。
Hey, you idiot, the camera! He dropped it. That thing's expensive.
おい、どういうことだ？
Hey, what do you mean?
苦しい。カメラ。
Oh, you're hurting me. Wait, the camera.
裏切ったのか。レベル下がったか。いつ彼女なんて作りやがった。
Did you betray me? Did you lose a level? When did you get a girlfriend?
できてないよ。彼女なんて。それよりカメラ。
Huh? I don't have a girlfriend, but forget that. Pick up the camera.
何？
What? I slipped out of Ito's grasp and picked up the camera. Looks like it's safe. Good. I relaxed and handed the camera back to Ito.
たくしっかりしろよ。僕らはあいつらと違って状況だろ。一石舞踏か。
Sheesh, get a hold of yourself. We're not like them. We're right-siders, right? Want me to give you a lecture about
いい
it?
か。リア充ってのは2005年あたりから使われ出した言葉で、リアル、つまり現実が充実している連中の総称だ。
Listen, the term normal first came into use on the Japanese internet around 2005. It referred to someone whose daily life was fulfilling and
最初は対義語
satisfying.
としてネト銃が挙げられることが多かったけど、その境目はもうほとんどない。リアルの中にネットが組み込まれてるのが当たり前になったからな。
Originally, the term netizen existed as its antonym because that distinction barely exists anymore. That's because the net is now an integral part of everyday life.
当初は友達がいるだけでリア充と呼ばれていたけど、次第に恋人がいることがリア充の条件になっていった。だがこれも変わりつつある。
When it first came into use, simply having friends was enough to qualify one as a normal. But gradually this requirement shifted into having a lover. But this too is changing.
昨今のリア充は本当の意味で現実が充実しているかどうか、つまりやりたいことができているかどうかで判断されるんだ。そういう意味で僕はリア充だ。
The modern definition of normal is now someone whose life is truly satisfying. That is, someone who's doing what they really want to do. In that sense, I am a normal.
だから暇に任せてふざけているあいつらはリア充なんかじゃないんだよ。言葉は正しく使え。
Therefore, the people over there who are all screwing around and wasting time aren't normals at all. You need to use your words correctly. Seriously, he needs to be careful. Just being a wrong-sider by itself is a sin these days. After I finished my lecture, I saw that Ito was staring at me wordlessly. Wait, did he not understand it? I'd walked him through the entire etymology.
宮代、
なんだよ。
Oh, what?
お前はリア充じゃないよ。言葉は正しく使おうな。
You're not a normal. Let's use words correctly, okay? Huh?
なぜだ。
Oh, why?
リア充はそんなこと言わない。
Normals don't talk like that.
だからなんでだ。それに補強するなら女子の知り合いもいるんだぞ。もちろん男も。
Wait, why? And you'd know I got acquaintances who are women. Of course, men too.
だからリア充はそんなこと言わないんだよ。
I just told you, normals don't talk like that.
理由はなんだ。理由はさらに付け加えるならな。
But what's the reason? And may I also add, I quickly swallow my words.
勉強だってしているんだ。
I'm studying fashion too. I'd read that new issue of Cool Cat before I put it away. There was an article in it called Utsui Nomiya's Fashion Leader. I thought it looked pretty good. If I could wear that stuff, I'm sure...
ん？なんだよ。
What?
なんでもない。とにかく僕はな。
Nothing. I'm telling you, I'm...
ああ、わかったって。次行こうぜ。
Sure, whatever, man. Let's go. As he walked away, I turned my eyes towards a group of mascot pro wrestlers.
わかった。じゃあもう全員で同じ着ぐるみにしようぜ。
Alright, then we'll all wear the same outfit.
ああ、戦隊もの風だ。色分けしようよ。私イエロー。
Oh, like Sentai Rangers. We can split up the colors up. I'll be yellow.
その方が受け取れるか。でも予算は？
The audience would love it. But do we have the budget?
あんたの小遣 遣いがあるじゃん。
Oh, we've got your allowance, right?
バカじゃないの？
Shove it.
それか、体に直接塗るか。受け取れればいいんでしょ。
Or we could paint the colors onto our bodies. It just has to get laughs, right?
こっちは忙しいんだ。
I'm busy.
おかえりなさいませ、ご主人様ケロン。
Welcome back, Master Keron.
可愛くなくね？もうちょっとどうにかなんね。
It's not very cute, is it? Can we fix that?
可愛くないとか言うな。てか、別にウェイトレスって女子限定じゃなくてもいいじゃん。男子もやんなよ。
Don't say that it's not cute. And wait, it's not fair that only the girls are waitresses. The boys should be waitresses too.
ゲロカエルンってあんな語尾で喋るキャラクターだったっけ？
Did Ghetto Froggy really talk like that? Ito had just finished recording the goings-on in the classroom.
どうでもいいよ。
It doesn't matter. This was class 3, 1. Ito's and my class. Most of the class was busy with the Ghetto Froggy Cafe that we were doing for the festival. Some people were ignoring the fuss and studying. Some of the otaku were reading light novels. Did they really think that if they left the paper cover from the bookstore on it, we couldn't tell it was a light novel? They were just trying their best to stay out of the way. Most people were happily making Ghetto Froggy decorations or putting on Ghetto Froggy costumes and messing around. All the clubs had to participate in the festival, but so did all the classes. No one had told me, but evidently several months ago we decided to do a Ghetto Froggy themed cafe.
はっか。ゲロカエルンの声は女じゃん。
You dummy. Ghetto Froggy has a girl's voice.
いや、そうだけどさ、そこは文化祭のノリ的なあれでいいじゃん、別に。
Well, sure, but it's just a culture festival. We're allowed to change it. That's wrong.
Huh?
Ito tilted his head in confusion and decided to get back on the topic. I took out my Pokecom and showed it to Ito.
で、これが今月の19日の事件の画像。
So, here's the images from the 19th of this month.
音漏れたんか。どれ？お、これはまだ見てないな。どこで拾った？
Leaky noise, huh? Let me see. I haven't seen this one before. Where'd you get it?
事件のまとめウィキに一瞬な。消される前に魚拓取った。
It showed up for a second on an aggregator wiki. I scrapped it before it got deleted.
あ、こっちの方がアングルいいな。なあ、さっきのカラオケのやつと合わせてニヤ道にアップさせてくれよ。
This one's got a nicer angle, right? Hey, let me take this up to Nikoniya along with the other stuff you took from the karaoke booth.
もう新聞部のオンラインストレージに上げてある。見やすいように加工して使ってくれ。
I've already upped it to the newspaper club's online storage. Make some adjustments so it's easier to see, then do what you want with it.
なんか最近再生数がいまいち伸びないんだよな。この前俺一人で作った動画のタグにもカメラ仕事しろとかアングル大体合ってないとか書かれるし。
Views have been kinda bad lately. The last video I upped got tagged with "Cameraman, do your damn job" and "This angle sucks." Ito looked really upset. Well, I knew how he felt. The Hekio Academy Newspaper Club had been the first in the nation to upload a video version of the school paper to Nikoniya. Our papers dealt with anything involving Shibuya. We'd done a special on the Shibuya restoration once that a local paper had written about. We won a special prize at a city journalism contest, and the video got over 80,000 views despite being boring as hell. After that, though, I could understand being upset at the fact that new videos dealing with goings-on in Shibuya weren't breaking 2 digits.
ああ、カメラ仕事しろのタグをつけたのは僕だ。あれアングルひどいぞ。
Oh, I was the one who put that cameraman do your damn job tag on. That angle was crap, man.
ゲットしてきた。
Ta-da! Got it!
おお、オリジナルじゃん。
Oh, and it's an original.
疲れた。
I'm so tired. A boyfriend and a girlfriend walked in, evidently back from shopping. Their arms were full of ghetto froggy stuffed
だ
animals.
から違うっての。
I told you that's wrong.
いえ、だから何がだよ。
Huh? What's wrong? Ito hadn't noticed then. I looked at my classmates who were already beginning to play with their new toys and
前
said,
も話したことあったろ。大半の中高生は日頃アクセスしてるサイトで情報レベルが知れるって。
I've told you this before, right? You can tell your average teenager's information level by knowing what sites they go to. This was a personal theory of mine. Smartphones and Pokecoms had become a religion to the modern teenager, and the information they gained from these portable terminals had a huge influence on their lives. Some people only looked at SNESs like Twitter, Rhine, and Facebook. Others at @chan and Nikoniya. Some looked at all of those, as well as the links they found there. And some looked at all of those things, as well as their favorite celebrity blogs, the big @chan aggregators, and then whatever humor site was popular at the moment. All of these people were wrong-siders. And the scary thing was that these days, 9 out of 10 wrong-siders were teenagers. Ghetto Froggy launched 6 years ago with the cell phone strap that had gotten popular for reasons no one ever understood. And then lately, a combination of Ghetto Froggy memes on Twitter, as well as an amateur anime posted to Nikoniya. If I remember right, it was a talking, dancing frog singing anime themes, had created a fad, though I hated to use that word for something so stupid. It amazed me that people honestly believed the ribbit sounds made by the female actress in those videos were from the original, or that the original was the stuffed animal that had come out recently and not the phone strap. My guess was that they only got their information from Twitter.
それに男の場合はウェイトレスじゃなくてウェイターだっての。
And a man can't be a waitress, he's a waiter. This was one of the reasons I joined the newspaper club. I didn't want to end up like them. Anyway,
宮代くん
a girl, evidently one of the ones in charge of the waitresses, was talking to me. Who was she again? Fujimoto? I think there was a Fuji...
何田中さん。
What is it, Tanaka? Tanaka. I was totally wrong.
さ、教室で流す映像のビデオ撮影のことなんだけどさ。
About the videos we're going to be playing in the classroom. What was she talking about? Oh, right. They were going to make their own version of the Nikoniya videos where they wore costumes and danced.
アップとかできるのかな。こうずっと同じで撮るんじゃなくて。
Do you think we could do some close-ups or something instead of just shooting from the same spot the whole time? What? Was she telling me what to do? I didn't volunteer to videotape it. You guys forced me. Well, it was better than being told to dance or make props myself. Well...
その
You see?
フィックスじゃなくていろいろ動かせっていうことですか？
You don't want a fix. You want us to move around.
フィックス？よくわかんないけど。
Fix? I don't know what you mean.
できますよ。アップでもなんでも。
Oh, we can do it. We can do close-ups or whatever.
本当？よかった。じゃあ本番までにどこをどう撮ってほしいかまとめて渡すから。
Really? Great. I'll write up how we want you to do it and give it to you before the shoot. And then she fled. That surprised me. Don't scare me like that. I was so nervous. I was sweating a little. Ito was looking at me and sighing.
お前
What?
やっぱリア充じゃないわ。
No way you're a normal man. What?
相変わらず慣れない相手だと挙取るし、丁寧語だし。
You freak out whenever you're talking to someone new.
しょうがないだろ。いきなりだったんだから。
I can't help it. She came out of nowhere. And what's more, I made it a policy not to talk to anyone unless it was necessary. This was the first time in quite a while I'd spoken to any of my classmates but Ito.
どうだった？
How'd it go?
なんか自慢されてなかった？フィックスとかなんとか。
He was bragging about something, right? Fix or something?
だそれ。またうんちくか？
What? More technobabble? They'd already started to spread meaningless information. Stop it. Hearing whispers about me in the classroom brought back bad memories. I was starting to have a hard time breathing.
おい、大丈夫か？
Hey, you okay? I must have looked like I was in pain because Ito was looking at me with concern on his face. I quickly nodded to show that I was
手
fine.
口は聞こえないように言えってのな。しかも自慢でもうんちくでもなんでもないっての。
If you want to talk about someone's behind someone's back, do it where they can't hear you. And it's not bragging, and it's not technobabble.
別に気にしてないよ。
It
藤田さんは
it doesn't bother me. Fujita is
誰だよ。
who's Fujita?
田中さんは情弱なだけなんだから。
Tanaka is just a wrong-sider. That's right. It wasn't worth worrying about. She was just ignorant. Ito looked over at her other classmates who were having fun.
オポチュニストが。
Jeez, freaking opportunists. Opportunist? Uh-oh. What did that mean again? I knew I'd heard it before. I ran a search on my Pokecom, making sure not to let Ito see. Opportunist. One who takes advantage of any opportunity to achieve an end.
そうだな。言い当ててると思う。みんなと同じ方向にひよってるだけだよ。
That's right. I think that's exactly the right word. And they'll take any opportunity to bring you down.
たくな。
You've got that right. Ito nodded, annoyed. Good. Looks like he didn't find out.
いつの時代もスクールカーストの底辺にいる俺らオタクは上部にいる方たちに話のネタを提供する運命なのか。
Do the otaku at the bottom of the school caste system always have to give the people above us something to talk about? Hold it. The school caste system wasn't anything I cared about,
Oi.
but
僕はオタクじゃないぞ。
hey, I'm not an otaku.
またかよ。
Not this again.
またってなんだ。理屈に合わないことが気持ち悪いだけだ。一石。
What do you mean again? I just don't like it when people are wrong. Do you want...
いい。ぶたなくていい。
No, I do not want a lecture.
オタクの定義は流動していて、当初あった悪いイメージは徐々に払拭されつつあるけれど。
The definition of the word otaku is changing, and the negative connotations it originally had are disappearing. But
2015年現在でもアニメやらラノベやらゲームやらアイドルやらにハマっている人のことを指す場合が大半だ。
even now in 2015, it still mostly serves to denote those obsessed with anime, light novels, video games, and idols. I thought I saw a boy reading a light novel turn toward me, but I didn't care.
僕はくだらないアニメやラノベは見ない。時間の無駄だ。
I don't watch stupid anime or read stupid light novels. It's a waste of time.
以前お前なんかのアニメを絶賛してなかったか？なんだっけ？ブラチュ？
Weren't you going on about how great some anime was? What was it? Bloodtoon?
くだらないアニメは見ないと言ったんだ。
I said I don't watch anime. That's stupid.
素晴らしきかな我が人生や二人のベロニカとかの名画を検索しようとすらせずに同じようなアニメばっか見て。
It's no different than people who ignore quality movies like The Two Veronicas or It's My Wonderful Life and just watch the same stuff over and over.
このアニメを見てないやつはにわかだとか言ったり。
And say anyone who hasn't seen this show is a casual.
わかったって。
I get it.
数列都市や冬の庭とかの名著。ああ、いいよね。とか嘘ついて済ませてラノベばっか読んでいる。
Or people who lie about having read books just like The Cities in Sequence or Winter's Garden and just read light novels all
そういう
day.
自分の好きな知識しか吸収しないやつを言うんだ。オタクっていうのは。
The word otaku refers to people like that, who only bothered to absorb information about subjects they enjoy.
オタクってなんか怪しいイメージあるよな。
Camera otaku always seem like a bunch of weirdos to me.
別に人様に迷惑かけなければいいんじゃん。好きなんでしょ。うちだってジョニオタだし。
As long as they're not bothering anyone, who cares? I'm a Johnny otaku myself. Stop it, please. More than anything, I don't want to be the same as you people. And then the door to the classroom flew open. A female student was looking in. She must have been in a hurry because she was a little out of breath. She brushed her long hair out of her eyes and was about to come inside. No, what's up?
おお、女帝、ちょうどよかった。
Oh, Empress, perfect timing. The whole class started to talk to her.
ちょっと。
Hold on. She was about to say something when her foot caught on one of the cables running across the room. And she suddenly tripped. She almost tripped, but managed to keep her balance. She smiled a bit and took a deep breath. All the students around her, boys and girls alike, began to move. They surrounded her as if they were welcoming in a long-lost family member.
こんなところにケーブル置きっぱなしにしたの。危ないな。
Hey, who put this cable here? That's dangerous.
ごめんね。
No, I'm so sorry.
女帝、大丈夫か？
Empress, you okay?
気にしないで。
Yeah, don't worry about me. She answered them with a smile. I felt like our eyes met. I looked away without thinking. Nono Kurusu, the first student council president of Heiko Academy.
あのさ、うちの喫茶でキッチン側とそれ以外のこっち側のなんてのお客さんスペースってか。
Hey, so for our cafe, we've got the kitchen, and then the other part, what do you call it? Where the customers sit. Kurusu smiled a little as she spoke.
ホール側？
You mean the hall?
そうそう、ホールだ。そのさ、間を仕切る暗幕の数の調整ってワックンしてくれた？
Yeah, the hall. Did Mr. Wacky adjust the number of curtains we've got to partition the two?
調整？涌井先生が増田君にそう言ったの？
Adjust? Did Mr. Wakui say he was going to do that, Masuda?
え、聞いてない？
You hadn't heard?
ということは絶対やってないでしょうね。わかった。私から言っておく。
Nope, which means he definitely didn't do it. Fine, I'll talk to him.
大丈夫？なんか女帝先生たちから目つけられてんじゃん。てか怖がられてんじゃん。
You sure? The teachers seem to have their eye on you, Empress. Actually, they seem scared of you.
生徒会長なんて生徒側から学校側に無理難題を押し付けるためにいるものでしょ。大丈夫、なけなしの権力を振りかざすから。あと増田君、女帝はやめて。
The student council president's job is to make the teachers' lives difficult for the benefit of the students. Don't worry, I'll use what little power I've got. Oh, and Masuda, stop calling me Empress.
ほう、サンキュー、女帝。
Thanks, Empress.
あなたね。
Now listen, you... Most of the boys in the class called Kurusu Empress as a joke. She'd gotten the name after becoming a hero to her fellow students through gallant deeds like putting an end to the principal's endless helmroom speeches. Not to mention bringing more types of bread to the school store.
の着ぐるみありがとね。ぴったりだった。
Thanks for the costume, Nono. It was a perfect fit.
田中、それ私が試着した時、最後までファスナー上がらなかったんだけど。
Tanaka, when I wore that, I couldn't get the zipper all the way up.
地雷？
Should I have kept my mouth
呼
shut?
び込み禁止にするからね。
I can stop you guys from doing any advertising, you know?
あーごめん、嘘ピチピチだから。これは割とマジで。いや、てかどうせ胸で引っかかったんでしょ。
I'm sorry, it was a joke. You're just fine. I mean it. And wait, it probably got stuck on your breasts anyway, didn't it?
冗談、期待してるから笑い取ってよ。
It was a joke. I'm counting on you, okay? Get lots of laughs. She sure was popular. She even knew the names of students in other classes. The top of the school caste system. That was the first phrase that came to mind. And then...
タクル、話があるの。ちょっと来てくれる？
Takeru, we need to talk. Can you come with me? Kurusu walked all the way over to me and Ito. Her expression was so kind. It seemed like she had to be putting on some sort of act. I could see that all the people who'd been surrounding her were staring at me.
女帝、カメラっ子に何の用だ？友達なのか？
What does the Empress want with the camera, kids? Are they friends?
知らないの？ノノは。
What? You didn't know? Nono is...
はあ、マジで？
Seriously? I ignored my classmates' whispers and focused on Kurusu. Her smile seemed fake, as if it had been plastered onto her face. Whenever she smiled like that, it meant she wasn't in a good
今は
mood.
ごめん。事件に関して気づいたことがあって、それをまとめてる最中なんだ。
Sorry, can't right now. I just finished something about the case, and I'm putting it together.
うん。
生徒会文化祭の準備が佳境だろ。だからクルスが落ち着いたらで。
The student council is really busy with the culture festival right now, right? So, once it's calmed down, Kurusu... Her cheeks twitched. Crap. Kurusu didn't like it when I called it by her last name.
来てくれる？物質。
Can you come with me to the club room? Really quick? I could sense a dark aura forming around her, hardly befitting a so-called empress.
来てくれる？
Can you? She was so close to me.
行こうか。物質。なあ、宮代。
Let's go to the club room. That cool with you, Miyashiro? Ito couldn't handle the terror. It didn't look like I could talk my way out of this one. Seeing no other choice, I nodded and stood up.
クルス、